Hi yogis, and welcome to this energizing core strength vinyasa practice. For this practice, you are going to need a tennis ball or a myofascial release ball, plus a couple of blocks. So ideally just 2 blocks for this practice. And we're going to begin just by settling in here. So just allowing yourself to sit through the hips, let the sit bones just rest down, coming to cross at the ankles, or just sit in any way that feels comfortable. And before we begin, you might want to just take a really gentle roll through the shoulders, just to release any tension through the upper shoulder blades. And then begin to find some stillness. You can rest your hands just onto the knees or the thighs, and begin to lengthen up through the spine, a gentle tuck in of the chin, and just beginning to allow yourself to soften here. We're working today in this practice to welcome energy in. Perhaps you're feeling a little depleted within your energy levels, perhaps even struggling to sleep, finding that your night has been disturbed. Then this is a practice for you just to begin to draw some energy into the body. So take a moment as you're resting here, just settling in, to check in with those energy levels. Notice perhaps any areas that feel a little less energized within the body. Sometimes the mind, when it's on overdrive, can feel like the energy is going up to the mind. And perhaps you're giving energy to things that isn't really that helpful. And all of that is okay. No need to judge, no need to change, perhaps just notice. And we're going to begin to work with your breath here, taking a gentle inhale through the nose if it's comfortable, and a soft exhale out through the mouth. Take a few moments just to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhaling in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. On the next inhale, you may wish just to imagine that energy drawing in towards the body. Just focusing for a few moments just on your inhale. And then just beginning to draw our awareness to our exhale. As you exhale, just begin to think about gently hugging the tummy, the belly, in towards the lower back, just to begin to activate through the core center muscles. So breathing in. And on your exhale, a gentle hug in of the belly towards the lower back. A sense of hugging in and up. Inhale, and then exhale, just hugging belly in, gentle zip up through the center of the body. This way we begin to fire up the belly a little bit, finding that sense of just energy within the core. One more belly breath here, inhale, and exhale, hug belly in. Find some fire within the belly. When you're ready, just come and gently open the eyes. Take the right hand down to the right hand side of the mat. We're going to sweep the left arm over towards the left ear and all the way back round again. Perhaps just imagining here that we're gathering and scooping in the energy, but also allowing it to radiate just gently outwards to the world. Let that right elbow bend, right fingertips just soften here. Starting to bring that left hand down to the earth. Let's sweep the right arm around. You can let your shoulder, your wrist, your hand be nice and soft here. Gathering in and up from the earth. Planting those seeds and then allowing that energy just to radiate out around us. Going to draw the hand onto the knees or the thighs. Let's begin to circle through the rib cage. allowing the right shoulder to come to the right knee, left shoulder to left knee, and then just allowing the back to dip forwards and backwards as we go. And we can start to let the head and neck move as well. Just gently bringing some life into the center of the body. We can think about this center being our spiritual or emotional center, really closely associated with our third chakra, our solar plexus chakra, sitting right around that belly button, navel area. Let's begin to circle opposite direction, taking left shoulder towards left knee, right shoulder to right knee. And maybe just starting to make those movements a little bigger, pressing the weight through the hands, maybe even into the finger pads here, just to allow the wrists to soften. And then beginning to take a few more fluid movements here. We'll come into a seated cat-cow. So lift on up through the head and the neck. Gentle squeeze of the shoulder blades together. Lift the chin away from the chest. Point the nose up to the sky. And then begin to soften, round and relax, pressing those fingertips onto the knees. Just dropping the chin to the chest. And we'll begin to move between the two movements. It doesn't need to look a certain way. Just really allow the body to move through center. That solar plexus chakra is closely associated with confidence, with strength, with energy. And we work into the center of the body just to invite all of those things in. When our energy feels a little depleted, we can often lack those things. So welcome it in with your breath. Draw it into the center of the body. Beautiful. We're going to bend those knees and let the feet just rest down to the earth. Take the hands behind us. Just give the knees a little sway from side to side, maybe rocking the head and neck as you go. If it's comfortable to do so, perhaps you could start to lift the feet away from the earth and just take a little wave with the knees and the feet side to side, this time with the feet lifted. Try and stay strong through the center of the body, not collapsing down or rounding through the back. So keep the head and neck lifted. And then popping those feet down towards the soles of the earth. Let's just allow a moment here. We're going to activate just through the inner thigh muscles here, allowing the hands just to come onto the inside of the knees. You're going to press the hands just on the inside of the knees and kind of just resist away from you. So as you do this, you'll find a sense of just pressing inwards through the thighs, hands on the inside of the knees. Take a little press here. And then soften down. Take the hands onto the inside of the knees. Take a little press, hands just against the knees. Activate through that inner thigh muscle. And then completely soften and relax. Let's take the feet into a butterfly position. Taking the hands onto the knees, the ankles or the toes. Let's give the butterfly a little wave. Just easing out any tension through the hips here. And then we'll begin to massage just into the feet, maybe using your hands here. Just to gently massage into the soles of the feet. Maybe rubbing just gently into the lower calf muscles, just giving the calf a little bit of a massage here. Beginning to draw those knees together. Let's come into a tabletop position when you're ready. You may want to just position the blocks so that you can take your hands onto the blocks. If you've got blocks, maybe come and flatten them down so they're at the top of the mat here. Hands could press onto the blocks. Knees underneath the hips, and we'll start just by taking a little bit of a cat-cow here. If the blocks don't work for you, feel free to go with them. You're going to draw the hips down to the heels, take a little wave through the spine, and come around on up through the back, dropping the chin to the chest, pressing the finger pads in towards the blocks or the earth. Soften the hips, soften the knees. Let's take a little way forward, bending those elbows, and really arching the back, really dip the belly down. And those elbows can be nice and soft, just to, again, protect the elbow joints, soften the wrist joints. Start to move between cat-cow, hands on blocks or without. Knees just stacked underneath the hips, hands stacked roughly underneath the shoulders. Beginning just to find some gentle fluid motions here. And then when you're ready, let's come and release through the wrist. So taking the hands just off the blocks, sitting any way that feels comfortable. Just give the wrists a gentle little circle here. And we'll begin to clear that air around us. So circle the wrists around, reaching the wrists and the fingertips up to the sky, and then just circle all the way down towards the earth. As you do this, you can start to think about just creating a little bit of space around you. What is it that you need a bit of space for in your life at the moment? Clearing any stagnant energy as you move, just circling and waving around gently here. Nice. We're going to guide the blocks just like facing in an upright position, top of the mat here, guiding ourselves back into tabletop position. Let's begin just to work into the hips, giving the hips a little wave from side to side. Those elbows can soften as we go. And maybe we can start to just circle the hips around, taking some nice big circles, bending into those elbows, circling in both directions, softening the toes as we go, or maybe just tucking the toes under and just giving yourself a little stretch through the base of the feet, whatever feels good here. And we're going to make our way just into a low warrior, stepping that right foot forwards between the hands. We can take our hands maybe onto the blocks here just to support. We could go with the hands just with the block on that flattened position, or we could go without, whatever feels good. Lifting up through the head, the neck, softening through the shoulders, beginning to let that left hip bone just press down. Right knee just roughly in line with that right ankle. And just pressing the way through that right foot. Take a moment to pause here. Gentle wave of air in, wave of air out. We're going to take a little forwards and backwards motion. So bringing that left hip to left heel, lengthening through the right leg, and just take a few little waves here. We can really round through the back, pressing that right knee straight, pressing the right foot down to the earth. And you can go at your own speed, your own pace. No need to force anything here. Nice. When you're ready, let's come and press that left foot to meet the right. Coming all the way to the top of the mat, the hands could stay on the blocks here, maybe just popping them out in front of you. And just start to wave a little bit of weight just through one leg and the other, bending one knee at a time, releasing through the back of the legs. Nice. And then come and soften the hands down towards the earth. You could use the blocks to do this. We're going to step back into a downward facing dog. Hands down, blocks or no blocks, step the feet back, downward facing dog. Giving the hips a little sway here, side to side. Don't worry if the heels don't come down. We could take a little bend with the knees, lengthening through the legs. Bend in the knees, lengthening through the legs. Beginning to soften the knees down towards the earth. Come and take a little mini rest, child's pose here. That means big toes together, sinking the knees apart, waving the arms out in front, maybe softening the head, the neck, the shoulders. Hands could be on the block, so we could just gently walk them away, whatever feels comfortable. Support underneath your head if you need to. Take a few moments just to breathe easy. One more breath. Pressing the hands just underneath those shoulders again. We're going to prep the blocks again. So just beginning to lengthen through the blocks if you wish to use them. Starting to step that left foot now just between the hands. We could keep the hands down. We could take those hands onto the blocks, long ways or flat ways. And we'll come into that just low warrior or low lunge pose. Our right knee is just gently pressing down. Left knee is in line with the left ankle, and we're lifting through the crown of the head. Take a moment to pause. Focus your energy here to the top of the mat. And just check in with the hips. Soften the shoulders. One more breath in and out. And then either keeping the hands or on the blocks or on the earth, we're going to start to guide that left leg forwards and backwards, just dipping the right hip towards the right heel, taking a little wave as we go. The blocks can be really nice just to support us a little bit here. Hands just pressing down and lengthening through the left leg. We're going to come to the top of the mat now. Stepping left foot and right foot together. Right foot meets the left. Come all the way to the top of the mat. Maybe letting the knees bend, taking the hands just onto the blocks, a little wave just through one knee then the other. Lengthening through the back of the legs. Nice. You're doing great. And then either with the hands on the blocks or all the way to the earth. Press those hands down, take a step back, downward facing dog, lift the hips up to the sky. And again, lengthen through the legs. We could take a bend with those knees. We could take a little shimmy of the hips side to side. We could walk the feet a little wider, pressing those heels down, or maybe lifting up through the toes, just taking any movement that feels good. When you're ready, let's begin to soften those knees down towards the earth. Again, coming off the wrists and the knees, come back into sitting just in the center of the mat. Give the wrists a little circle. And again, just clear the air and the space around you, reaching those wrists up towards the sky and then just opening the arms wide, taking a breath in and just breathing out, softening down. Great, we're going to come back into tabletop position, hands pressing down, knees pressing down. Give the hips a little wave from side to side, maybe a little circle of the hips around. Again, just to release here. And then just coming into a little bit of a flying tabletop. Take the left leg behind you, press the left toes to the end of the mat. Just take a little wave forwards and backwards on the toes. The heel is pressing down, we're hugging the tummy in. And we're staying nice and strong through the center of the core, center of the belly. Rising up through that left leg, left toes, point down to the earth, left knee straight. We bring right arm to right ear, and we find our flying tabletop. Holding here for a moment, taking a breath in. And then softening hand and softening knee. Let's go to the other side. Right leg goes long, right toes to the end of the mat. We press that right heel away from us. Just holding here for a moment and taking a little pulse, maybe forwards and backwards. Any wrist issues, feel free to take your hands onto the blocks. Bring yourself a little higher. And then we're going to lift that right leg into the air. Right toes pressing down, right knee straight. Hug the belly in to flatten the back. Protect the lower back, and then release the left arm to the left ear. Flying tabletop, hovering here for a moment. Soften the hands, soften the knee once more. Give yourself a little moment just off the wrists, maybe off the knees. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back into downward facing dog. So starting just to up the hands to the top of the mat, blocks or no blocks, curl the toes under, lift the hips nice and high, lengthen through the back of the legs, take a walk out here. We'll come and find our three-legged dog. So pressing that left heel, left leg down, reach the right leg into the air, lengthen it up, step the right foot forwards between the hands. Bending into the back knee. Let's sweep the arms into the air, unraveling through the spine. Take a breath in, and come and find our standing posture here. Look to the top of the mat. Take a moment to pause. Draw the palms together. Press the left heel down. Just start to take a little bend from the right leg to the left leg. We can sway it out here. Just starting to wave those fingertips just down towards the earth. Keep the breath going. Inhaling and exhaling as you begin to wave back up to center. Bending into that right knee, right toes, right foot, press into the top of the mat. Left foot just facing parallel to the side of the mat. Let's sweep those arms into the air. Taking a breath in, energizing breath here. On your exhale, just come and open the arms into a gentle pose here. Maybe finding our warrior two. Look into the top of the mat. Creating some energy, let's place our right hand onto the right knee, right thigh, and just sweep the left arm around. We could bend into that left knee as we circle and wave on up. No need to force, take as big or a small movement as you need here. Beginning to guide those hands to frame our right leg. Start to soften that left knee. Uncurl through the left toes and just take a few little pulses here. Again, we could come back just to using the blocks if you wish. Just taking it away, forwards and backwards. Pressing that right knee underneath the right hip, tabletop position. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog, lift the hips high, lengthen through the back of the legs. Take a walk out here. Again, we could rise up through the toes, pressing the heels down. Rise up through the toes, pressing the heels down. Left leg comes into the air. Press that right heel, right leg down towards the earth. We send our left leg forwards between the hands. And we bend into that back knee, find our balance. Let's wave on up with the arms, unraveling, unfurling through the spine, hugging the belly in, just to rise to center. Find your balance, find your pose here. Drawing the palms together, come and press that right heel down to the earth. We're going to take a little wave again, side to side. So just bending right leg to left leg, and just taking a little lunge from right to left. Perhaps you could wave all the way down to the earth, fingertips just coming down. Now beginning to bend into those knees. Nice, coming all the way back to center. You've got your left foot now facing the top of your mat. Right foot just facing parallel to the mat. Sweep the arms into the air, take a breath in. And on your exhale, come and open the arms nice and gently, finding your focus again, top of your mat. Soften the shoulders, take your left hand onto your left leg. Let's sweep and round through that right arm, bending into the knees and just scooping and gathering as we go, shedding any layers that are not helpful, any unwanted thoughts, feelings, emotions, peeling that layer up and away. We're going to guide those hands back to the earth. You've got your left foot forward. We're guiding right knee down, left knee bending, uncurling through the right toes. Let's take left knee underneath the left hip, tabletop position, and just slowly coming back to center. Let's hug the knees into the chest, maybe just giving the knees, the thighs a little rub here. And then working now just with the ball, a couple of little releases through the legs. So you're going to take just one block and your ball. Begin by lengthening the legs all the way down, maybe giving the leg just a gentle shake. We'll take the block just underneath the calf muscle. The ball is going to go right into the center of the calf. That's a big fleshy muscle on the lower part of the leg. We're going to press the weight of the ball just into that calf muscle. The hands can press behind us, just gently bending into that left knee and giving the calf a gentle massage with the ball. The ball's a really nice way just to work with slightly deeper than the muscles, the connective tissue, the fascia. It's often thicker and denser, much harder just to stretch. So we use the ball just to work into the fascia. We're going to just allow the ball to rock from side to side now. Again, you might find a little juicy or kind of sore but sweet spot as we do this, just rocking from side to side. If you need to move the ball, do feel free just to kind of move it around a little bit. Just find and feel what is good for you. Be intuitive just with your movement. And then maybe just circling the ball around, just giving it a little release here, taking a few little circles, just bending into that knee as we go. And just circling it around. We're going to bend into the foot now. You can release the block completely. So bend into the foot, bend into the left knee. Take the ball just underneath the base of the left foot. And really press the weight through the foot. We're going to roll the ball just forwards and backwards, just into the plantar fascia, which is just that thick tissue on the base of the foot. Let the hands, again, just soften behind you. Any wrist issues, you can always do this just sat upright against your sofa or a wall. Hands could even hug into that knee, but try to just get a bit of weight through that left leg. Keep breathing as you go. We're going to do the same on the other side. So if you take one block, place it just underneath that right calf muscle. We're going to go right into the bulky part of the muscle, maybe avoiding the Achilles tendon, avoiding right underneath that knee joint. The knee is just slightly bent here. And again, we'll just take a little bend and straighten just through that lower leg. Bending and straightening through the right knee. You might find one place is a little sorer. Again, you can move the ball just slightly further away or closer to the body. Just taking a few moments to release here. And maybe just going side to side. So just finding a little cross movement, right to left. And then maybe a little circle around of the ball. Again, just bending the knee. Just keeping it nice and contained here, just beginning to gather our energy in. And then to finish, let's just release the ball, release the block, and just take a little massage into the lower leg. So just bending into the knees, reaching the hands, and just giving the calf muscle just a nice, gentle massage. We're going to keep their feet just planted where they are, keeping the knees just hugged into the chest, lift on up through the center of the spine. Take the hands just out in front of you and thinking about moving through center rather than just the arms. Begin to just gently stir, almost like a pot of soup or porridge, but use the center of the body just to guide you. So the elbows, wrists, hands, shoulders are just nice and still. You can see I'm just working through the center of the body to do this. So beginning just to dip the belly, the hips down, and then circling back to center. And we can go a few times the opposite direction, really working from center again, just using the core. Try and avoid just sort of moving through the wrists and the elbows like this. And then when you're ready, just slowly allowing yourself to arrive and land here, coming all the way down. Let's come and hug those knees just into the chest when you're ready, maybe taking one knee at a time and just beginning to soften through the belly. You could take a little rock from side to side as you go, maybe even a little rub into the belly here, just signifying that belly, that center core, just to keep ignited. Taking the hands onto the knees, let's begin to circle those knees around, releasing through the back as we go. Let the jaw just be nice and soft here. Keeping the right knee hugged into the chest, coming straight in through the left leg to the end of the mat, right knee hugging in. And we can take a little circle with that right knee, just gently releasing through the right hip as well. Releasing the right leg all the way down to the earth. Let's hug left knee into chest. And again, perhaps we could circle into that left hip and knee too. Release the left leg all the way down. Reaching and sweeping the arms above the head. Let's take a full body stretch here. Sweeping those arms out to the side of the body, bend the knees. Let's take a few windshield wipers here, just dropping the knees from side to side. Maybe just releasing through the neck area as you go, dropping the knees from one side, head and neck to the other. Beginning now, just to soften through the legs. Let's come and bring ourselves just into a nice, comfortable position for Shavasana. You can do this in any position that feels good for you. Feel free just to create a little bit of space on your mat here. Maybe opening through the ankles and letting the palms just come and rest facing up to the sky. Beginning here to allow the shoulders to soften. Release through the jaw. Completely soften through those fingertips and feel free just to take a little bit of movement before you get completely still. Maybe a shuffle of the hips, a little bend of the knees or shuffle of the legs at all. Just taking any final adjustments before coming to rest here. We begin our relaxation by really checking in with our third chakra, our solar plexus chakra, associated with the color yellow, responsible for feeling confident, feeling strong, and really speaking our inner truth. So perhaps just noticing here and checking in with this area of the body. With each breath that you take, perhaps just drawing a little bit more energy and truth in towards yourself. Reminding yourself it's okay to let go of things that no longer serve you, that no longer need you. As each breath comes into the body, you may wish just to imagine the whole belly expanding, perhaps becoming a little less tense as you breathe in, expanding the belly, softening, releasing tension. Yeah, and the next breath, just begin to bring some gentle movement into the fingertips and the toes, maybe just circling the wrists and the ankles around. Either rolling now onto the side of the body or just taking a little hug of the knees into the chest, inviting in just some gentle movement. If you're comfortable with your back, you could take a little rock and roll just to come into sitting. And we're going to come and gently close our practice here, sweeping those arms into the air. When you're ready, take a breath in. On your exhale, come and half the belly in one more time. Drawing belly in towards lower back, zipping up through the tummy, finding that sense of strength, of truth, and of light, drawing it in towards yourself. Take a moment just to honor everything that you are in all your beauty, your wisdom, and your glory. Thank you for joining me for this energizing core strength practice. Namaste.